Daniel Jones is heading to the Indianapolis Colts to go compete with Anthony Richardson, their former first-round pick, to be their starting quarterback.
Wait a minute. I've never seen that before in my life out of a quarterback, legitimately. And I think what it does is it makes people think, get this guy the f off of our team.
You need to get your conditioning up. I don't know what, I can't even wrap my mind around the fact that you're asking out of a game.
New start somewhere else is what Anthony Richardson needs.
You know, Coach Nation's torn on Anthony Richardson.
Definitely appreciate the support.
Quarterback Anthony Richardson has had a rough start to his career so far, and it looks like it's about to get even worse since the Indianapolis Colts have signed a new quarterback, Daniel Jones, bringing in some serious competition. And unfortunately for Richardson, one of the biggest Colts fans in the world seems to be turning on him. Let's break this down. In the 2023 NFL Draft, Anthony Richardson was the most interesting prospect because he'd only played 13 starting games as a QB with the Florida Gators, but he was freaky athletic and can do things that not a lot of QBs can do, like backflips.
Apparently.
Okay, so if that's a bad hamstring, partner, how can he?
But many fans and pundits labeled Anthony Richardson as risky because you don't actually need to be able to do backflips in order to be a great quarterback. But there is no doubt that Anthony Richardson is genetically gifted. The guy is a physical freak, and even his 13-year-old brother sounds like a 30-year-old man.
Look at this. This is pretty special.
This is very special to me. I mean, especially because I look up to him as much, and I've always wanted to be like him.
You're sort of wearing similar outfits, right?
This might be the only 13-year-old in the world that can whoop my ass. Unfortunately, Anthony Richardson was robbed of his rookie year when he suffered an AC joint sprain early in the season, effectively ending his entire season.
Two defenders come on top of him, and some body weight lands on him, and immediately you see him grabbing.
So in 2023, the Indianapolis Colts primarily relied on Gardner Minshew to be the starting quarterback. He had subbed in previously before Richardson went down, and the offense did look productive with him as quarterback. The Colts ended up being one play away from knocking out the Houston Texans and making the playoffs in 2023. This added pressure for Richardson going into the 2024 season because clearly the head coach Shane Steichen's offense was smooth and able to be good with Gardner Minshew, a guy who was not successful the following year with the Las Vegas Raiders. The Indianapolis Colts would go on to sign Joe Flacco before the start of the 2024 season, showing that they were concerned that Anthony Richardson would be 100% okay as the starter for 2024. And early on in the 2024 season, we saw some of the same problems prop up for Anthony Richardson, mainly with his accuracy issues and him throwing costly interception. But nonetheless, there were still glimpses of the great ability he has, mainly with his deep ball and his ability to make plays with his leg. But all hope for Anthony Richardson came to a screeching halt when the famous tap out incident occurred in late October of 2024. Anthony Richardson was blasted in the media for this, mainly by famous Colts punter and enthusiastic Colts fan and TV show host Pat McAfee.
I've never seen it before. When a guy taps out of a game, big third down, AFC South Championship basically on the line here for the lead in the division. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before in my life out of a quarterback, legitimately. You're the face of the franchise. Whenever you're tapping out, whenever you're healthy, what message are you sending to everybody in the building, everybody in the locker room, the entire city, the fan base? And I think what it does is it makes people think, get this guy the off of our team.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Underdog, where you can win money on sports. Underdog is one of the fastest growing fantasy apps in the industry. I especially love their pick'em game where you can pick your favorite players around the league, guess the higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. You can win up to 1,000 times your money in one night. I especially like doing this for a game that I'm not emotionally invested in. I can just make my picks, sit back, and watch them hit. Now that it's the playoffs right now with a few games left, you definitely got to get your picks in soon and start playing now. Check out this map right here to see if Underdog is available in your state. It's available in California, Oregon, and Texas, where I know a lot of you are from. If you use my promo code Wi-Fi, you can get a free pick plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash for first-time players. So visit UnderdogFantasy.com, find the app in the Google or Apple store, and use my promo code Wi-Fi to claim a free pick plus get up to $1,000 in bonus cash for first-time players. What are you waiting for? The link is in the pin Pinned comment and description below. Check out Underdog right now. What was worse is that there was no real hidden explanation by Richardson for this tap out mid-game.
You subbing out, were you hurt, were you injured, were you tired?
Man, tired, I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there, what I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play,
So the only issue was that he was tired. There was no real explanation. This was something that his teammates, like the center Ryan Kelly, did not approve of.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we had a conversation about it, and, I think he knows it's not the standard that, that he needs to play up to and the rest of the team holds him to, and he's going to take some criticism for that. It's just rightfully so, right? I mean, it's a tough look.
Other players around the NFL, like the division rival Houston Texans edge defender Will Anderson, thought the tap out was really odd.
Have you ever seen a quarterback go like this?
Never.
Bro, so what goes, did you notice it?
I didn't notice it until after the game and I seen the interview and he said it.
He also faced heat from former Panthers QB Cam Newton.
And I don't think
you're in the big leagues now, guy. It's the big league. When I'm looking at a stat line that says you go 10 for 32 for 175 yards, 1 touchdown and an egregious interception. Bro, egregious. Dog, what the f? You can't do that.
2 days after this viral incident, Anthony Richardson was officially benched by the Indianapolis Colts in favor of the veteran quarterback, Joe Flacco. This sent a huge message to the NFL that they were not happy with his quarterback's performance and his professionalism. At the same time, you started getting reports from The Athletic and New York Times about Richardson's professionalism behind the scenes. What was really alarming is that players on the Colts had to privately tell him that he was not pulling his weight. Most notably, DeForest Buckner, the star defensive lineman, apparently privately told Anthony Richardson that he was not meeting the standard, and he even went as far as to say that I signed an extension here because I believed in you, but you've got to do your part. That is why it was no surprise to the NFL world that come January, the general manager of the Colts let it be known Richardson would face some tough competition next year.
Colts have already started early conversations, I'm told, with veteran options and free agency to bring on and compete with Anthony Richardson in that open competition. The goal here, ideally, is to have Richardson still be the starter there, but they will bring in somebody to compete with him.
Despite the fact that the Colts said they want Richardson to remain the starter, it almost feels like a bridge is already broken. You would ideally want higher expectations for a quarterback that you picked at number 4 in the 2023 draft. Clearly, if he has not won the starting quarterback job going into year 3, it looks like things are going to be over quite soon. And that is why the March offseason move in 2025 by the Indianapolis Colts to sign former Giants and Vikings quarterback Daniel Jones just might be a death sentence for Anthony Richardson's career with the Colts.
Daniel Jones is heading to the Indianapolis Colts to go compete with Anthony Richardson, their former first-round pick, to be their starting quarterback. Daniel Jones is going to sign a 1-year, $14 million contract that includes up to $17.7 million max value.
So that competition in Indianapolis, Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson, going to be one of the fascinating storylines that we are following all the way through training camp up to week 1 of the 2025 regular season.
The reason that this should be alarming for Anthony Richardson is the fact that Daniel Jones had options. The Vikings wanted him to sign with them, but he elected to go with the Indianapolis Colts instead, probably because he thought he had an easier route to be the starting quarterback in Indianapolis compared to going up against JJ McCarthy in Minnesota. And as soon as this Daniel news dropped, Anthony Richardson faced more negative comments from Pat McAfee.
New start somewhere else is what Anthony Richardson needs, and you know what? If that's the case, if he does look to go somewhere else, we will appreciate the hell out of his time in this city, and we will be thankful that we were able to be like grade school for him to learn how to play football and be a football player. And I think he would have massive success somewhere else.
You know, Coach Nation's torn on Anthony Richardson.
So McAfee, who does probably have connections inside the Colts organization, is already talking about Anthony Richardson joining another team. And he's even making comments like, oh, the Colts will be the place where he learned to play football, implying that he doesn't know how to play football right now. Daniel Jones did win a playoff game with the New York Giants, but over the past few years, his career has gone completely downhill.
I need $1 million. I need $1 million. I need $1 million, Daniel. I need $1 million, Danny. I need $1 million. Give me a... You suck.
It seems like Daniel Jones is in the place that Anthony Richardson may see him be later on, and Daniel Jones has a chip on his shoulder. He got emotional when talking about his teammates when he said goodbye to the New York Giants organization last year.
Darius and other guys are standing up and saying, like,
either we don't agree with this or we still believe Daniel would give us the best chance to win?
Yeah, I've like I said, created a lot of great relationships here with the guys here, and definitely appreciate the support. But it's about the team and what's best for the team, and yeah, I think. I know the guys will be ready to go. I know Tommy will be ready to go this week.
You can see he's holding back tears hearing that his teammates still want him to be the starter. And at this point, he obviously already knew he was going to be released by the Giants and he would go on to join the Vikings as their backup quarterback. But it just shows that this guy's going to be hungry in 2025. He's a guy who knows what it's like to be a starting QB, young guy on a rookie contract, winning a playoff game, and then go completely downhill. You have Anthony Richardson on one end, who seems to be taking this opportunity for granted if the comments by DeVorest Buckner are true that Richardson was not taking his preparation seriously. Daniel Jones, somebody who's already hit rock bottom, is not going to take this opportunity for granted, so Anthony Richardson better watch out.